Hi and welcome to Fynone. This week's release notes include some updates on export sections and additional information regarding item details. So when you log in into Fynone under the account management settings, you will see a new tab called as export. So this has been added to enable the exports section in the sales side billing form. So by default, when you create a new profile, this is enabled or active. But if you do not, if you are not into export transactions, or you do not want to see the export section in the billing form, you can deactivate this. In which case, under the form fill of the add or view invoice, this checkbox would get hidden. So since we have enabled it, the checkbox is shown. So let's say we create a export invoice with certain item details and export details. Let's call it a new customer as export customer. So this would be a export transaction. So we change the supply type to a EXP, let's say without pay, and item name we shall come back that. But coming to the export details, this section has been changed drastically. So all these fields that you see are primarily pertaining to export of services. So you could give foreign currency code, let's say it's USD. So you can search by currency name or code, and then you can give the country of final destination, let's say is uh, United States, and exchange rate, let's say is 84.50. Now these are so if you're done with this, it's more than enough for export of services. The invoice would include the foreign currency code details as well. If it's pertaining to export of goods, then we give the shipping information that is required as part of the invoice. So pre-carriage by, let's say, ship, vessel, flight details, place of pre-receipt, let's say it's Chennai, marks, we given marks and numbers or container numbers, we can give comma separator. It's a unlimited text field. And then port of loading, let's say it's the Chennai port, INM AA1. And then the port of discharge. So here also port of loading, you can search by port code or port name. Port of discharge, let's say, is New York, and final destination is New York. The country of origin is India. So all those information pertaining to the shipping information, shipping details have been provided. Now we give mobile, let's say we give a mobile case, and we give two quantities each of say 500 rupees. And now one section, as I said, one of it was pertaining to export details as part of current release. The second is pertaining to these custom fields. So you now have the option to give custom fields as part of the bill form itself. So how you would create it is, let's say we call a new item as mobile cover. In the quick add, we choose product. We go to show add additional information and then go to custom fields. Now you have the option here to just give the field name. So let's say we give mobile cover and we say color as one of the field name, and then let's say size as another, and say transparency, for example, as another. So this has been provided as custom fields. Now, if there are custom fields, so let's give 500 rupees here, and let's say two quantities. Now, when you click on custom fields, you will see the option to give the field value. So whatever field values are given, only those get printed in the invoice print. So if you want to say give only color and size as M, but then you leave the transparency, then only these two, that is color, brown, and size M, these two fields alone will get printed also on the invoice print. If you want to modify, you can just click that again and enter the value and then add, and then that accordingly will update before you complete the form fill. So let's now go ahead and save the invoice. We now have created a export invoice. We go ahead. So before you download, what we've also done is the invoice would ideally include, before you generate an IRN or an e-invoice, it would include the shipping bill number and the shipping bill date that we have not generated yet. Okay, so we give you the option to download it without those details, and this is the downloaded information. Now when you scroll right, you will have this new column called as shipping details, and under that each of it has a button called as export. So before you generate the IRN, click on export, enter the shipping bill number and the shipping bill date. So far, if you see in the print that you have just downloaded, you will not see the shipping bill number and the shipping bill date. The rest of the information is available. So go ahead and enter, let's say, a shipping bill number and the shipping bill date and save it. So you also have the option to view that information, what was entered. And now you download, you will have the invoice with the shipping bill number and date. So you have this is auto created invoice sequence as EXP, and then you have the bill to details. If there are ship to dispatch to details, you can enter, and all that information also will come. The export details. So you have the shipping bill number, the date, the currency, exchange rate, the country, the pre-carriage information, the final destination information, and so on and so forth. Now this template, the canvas is of this print is different for export compared to normal invoices. So one, of course, is this export detail section that is added. Secondly is the goods and services item details get listed in foreign currency. So you will see that the headers now mention USD instead of INR, and you will also see each of these values in USD based on the currency exchange rate. So where is the currency exchange rate? The currency exchange rate is mentioned here. So you have the exchange rate, and basis that the item values that we entered get converted to the foreign currency, and the base currency value is also given here to give you an intimation of what is the value as per the base currency. So we're saying 11.83 USD per corresponding to 1000 INR. And then you have the seller pay information. One other important piece is seller Swift code. So if it's an export transaction, you will get the Swift code instead of the IFSC code in the print. Now, how do you add that Swift code? Is you go to banking when you create a new account or edit the bank account, especially the CASA accounts, you have the option to enter this Swift code. So this again is another new field that is added. So you have the Swift code that you can enter, and that gets displayed here instead of the IFSC code. So the print accordingly is changed for export transactions, and the custom fields, the item custom fields also are displayed. First is item name, followed by the description, if there is a description, and then you have the custom fields that are displayed one by one below each other, right? So that is also part of the print PDF. So these two are part of the release this week, the export section and the item custom fields. Please go through. If there are queries, feel free to reach out to us. Thank you for watching this video.